All right, so we're here with Nicole from Dahlicious. Hello, Nicole.
Hey, good to be here.
Yes, thank you for sparing your time to talk to me. Um, let's talk about you and Dahlicious and how you started with that.
Oh, goodness. Um, well, I was in my mid 40s and I was trying to return to the workforce after a bit of a surprise third child. That was a bit of a whoopsie daisy. And I couldn't get a job. It was really hard to return to the workforce at that age, and I think it's hard for a lot of women who perhaps leave, having kids till you're 40. You spend the first 5 years, you see them off to school, and then you turn around, and it's really tricky to re-enter. So I couldn't get a job, and I'd been making this beautiful Indian lentil dal for many, many years for friends and family. So my business began as a combination of my love for beautiful food and wanting to cook super healthy food for my family, and also my daughters expressing an interest in becoming vegan. So I wanted to make sure that all of us as a family took the plant-based food journey together, and I wanted to make sure that they weren't eating rubbish, that they were eating really healthy food. And for me, it had to taste terrific. So I began creating beautiful vegan lentil dals, and started delivering them to people in my community at home. So they'd order on Facebook, and I'd be running around. I'd cook once a month in my kitchen with my mum and my kids, and we'd make it all and home deliver. And so that kind of started to grow, and I was also doing markets every weekend and started getting a following there. And it was really helpful to do that as a business, to get that immediate feedback loop from customers. This is great, this is, might be better, needs a little more salt, a little less of that, or whatever. So that was a really helpful process to refine the product, and also to identify that I had a product that people really liked, because lots of us think we've got a great idea, and gosh, the idea is the easy part, but it's really having it tested out there by lots of people and by them enjoying it. That's the only way you know that it's going to be a success.
Why dal? What inspires you
Wow.
to make dal?
Oh, great question. So Indian flavors for me, for two reasons. Indian flavors, I think you can really get the most exciting tastes using Indian flavors. But that combined with lentils being an incredible product, they're so high in fiber, high in protein. So with a plant-based diet, lentils really, pack a whole lot of benefits. And combined with the spices, it's delicious.
Yeah, I love a good dal.
Yeah.
So if someone out to start with your Dahlicious collection, where do you recommend? Oh, which particular flavor do you recommend
The most
them to start with?
popular
Yeah.
by about 3 to 1 is the coconut veg dal, which
Mm.
it wasn't the first one that I created, but it was the one that I created to feel literally like a hug.
Yes, it's
The
comforting.
coconut one is a hug.
Yeah, it's
So,
very comforting.
and I also wanted to create that one because it's super mild, and kids love that one. I needed to have one that had lots and lots of vegetables in it, which it does. It has like 7 vegetables in it as a product, and but kids love it because they love the creamy coconutty flavor. So I think that's a really good place to start for anyone. And that's closely followed by the lime and spinach dal, which is a beautiful, fresh, zingy kind of
Mm.
flavor, super low fat.
Mm.
Obviously the coconut is the cuddle. That
Yeah.
that's not low fat, but the lime spinach is delicious as well.
Mm. Yum. You're making me hungry now.
Well, then what happened was, I mean, so fast forward, and now I'm distributed Australia-wide into lots of stores, which I'm so excited about.
So how many stores are you in?
I think I'm in about 350
Oh
now.
wow.
So, which is great. I've got a target of 550 by the end of 2018, and we're on track for that. So hopefully we'll hit that target. But ultimately, it just means lots more people can try my product, which is great.
Yeah.
But then the Dahl thing, I thought, oh, not everyone likes Dahl. I don't get it. I mean, what's not to love? But that's when I started creating my Veglicious range, which is the beautiful French farmhouse inspired recipes, because I absolutely love making ratatouille. So my ratatouille is nuts good. It is really good. Um, I guess the most common thing people say about my products is that they don't taste like they come out of a packet. I think that's the most common phrase. They go, oh wow, oh wow, wow. That's kind of the most common reaction,
Yeah.
because it's not what they're expecting.
Oh, that's really good.
Which still moves me, even to the,
Yeah.
even after 3.5 years, I'm still moved every time someone tastes it and likes it. So I guess that's a message that I'm, in the right business, doing something I love still.
Yeah.
You
It's
know.
always good to have that compliments coming
Yeah,
from your
it is. It's
customers.
great feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Shark Tank.
Yes.
So you're featured in last week's
Yeah.
Shark Tank, I
Yeah.
think. What makes you decide to go on Shark Tank?
Well, I think, like a lot of small businesses, you reach a point where you've invested as much of your own money as you kind of can scrounge. You've got the business to a point which is great, but you can see where it needs to go, and all it takes is cash to get it there. So it's a real cash flow problem, which I know a lot of businesses hit this point, in second or third year of business, that you have to make a decision that you're going to invest and grow. So I saw Shark Tank as a really good opportunity to both look for an investor, but also to look for mentorship around business growth.
And how was the experience?
It was incredible. It's a really positive process. It's it can be daunting, but it's such a valuable learning experience, because with a small business, you don't you're so busy on the hamster wheel that you rarely take the opportunity to take a step back and really examine your business, particularly from a financial perspective, and pull it apart and really understand every dollar of costings and every dollar of your budget and budget forecasts and um, those kind of expectations. So uh, as a process, it was incredible, and I guess it's also good for confidence building as well. I mean, yeah, I thought I was going to be super nervous, but I wasn't, because the production team are really supportive. They make it a really positive and relaxed experience, as relaxed as it can be. So it was great.
Wow. Well, you look very confident.
Yeah, I felt surprisingly calm. The producer kept saying to me, "You okay? You okay?" I went, "Yeah, are you?" I guess some people kind of get a bit nervous.
Yeah. Did that even cross your mind? The chance that it will not go well, or
No,
that you would stumble? Or
do you know what? I think you're going on that program to ask people to invest in you and in your business, and in return you're offering a share of your baby, if you like. But I think that providing you approach the experience with a great deal of respect, which I did. So I made sure that I had studied really hard to know all of my figures. I made sure that I practiced and practiced and practiced my
yeah.
pitch.
How long did it take you to perfect your
Oh, a
pitch?
couple of weeks,
Yeah.
just to write it, and then have friends listen to it and go, oh god, that's, you're really waffling on there, shorter, 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 shorter,
Yeah.
because ultimately that you don't have very much time to engage with the investors, and so you've got to make sure that you're animated and passionate, that you let your passion shine
Yeah.
through, about your product and your business.
Yeah. And so what's been happening since then?
Well, I was, really lucky to have 3 deals
Yes.
offered to me, and I accepted the deal with the beautiful Janine
Yes.
Alice from Boost, and yeah, we're in communication, and there's a whole bunch of exchange of information period occurring. So yeah, we're excited about the future of the business.
So what's the next step for you?
For me, I'm really looking to consolidate my national distribution through stores. And then really going to turn my attention to food service opportunities for my business, which is more talking to cafes and restaurants and airlines and events people about growing that side of my business, independently, because I have forecast that that will represent 50% of my business income by the end of this year. So I've got a bit of a task ahead,
Yes,
and
yes.
the clock's ticking, so need to get busy with that. But there's some incredible opportunities in front of me at the moment. But yeah, I just need to come back down off the cloud of my 5 minutes of fame, and get back to grounding and getting on with leads and follow up.
Yeah. Now, can you tell us what's your, I guess, biggest take home message for people who kind of interested in Shark Tank, the business owners out there, but quite apprehensive? What do you think? Do you recommend that to everyone?
Yes, look, I have to say that you're mad not to take the opportunity, because ultimately, if you're passionate about your product, it's it's the most amazing opportunity for exposure for your product, no matter what happens. But if you conduct yourself with respect and dignity, then the investors are respectful people too. Um, and if you've really made an effort to know your business and know your figures and know what you're presenting, then you've got no reason to fear the process. I've never seen anyone who has been polite and respectful be torn apart.
Yeah, true, true, true.
It's usually, I think you leave your ego at the door, and but don't leave your passion at the door.
Yeah, yeah, that's very good. That's a very good advice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so as a small business owner myself, you know how hard it is to juggle all the different activities that you have to do, running the business, meeting people, um, all the admin stuff. What's some of your challenges being a business owner or a
Oh
female
God.
business owner?
There's lots of challenges, but I guess that happens for male or
Mm,
female. I suppose it also depends on what role you take. I've got kids, and they've all got their needs and stuff. But um, I think prioritizing your business um, was probably a key change, or it was an action in my head and in reality that I took a couple of years ago, when I decided that um, I needed to work full time on my
mm,
business. So, so if there was an invitation to do something, or can you volunteer at canteen this week, or can you,
right.
no, and my response just had to become, no, I'm really sorry, I can't. I work
Mm,
full time. So because sometimes people think if you're kicking around at home,
yeah.
that you're, well, that's not very serious. You're not really working. You can come and help with this and that. And I think that I drew a line in the sand at some point a few years ago and just said, no, I'm so sorry, but I work full time.
Yeah.
So, and I think that was a switch in my head too, because then I really did start working full time
Yeah.
on the business. So that's a real headspace thing, and prioritizing your business, because it won't grow without attention. It just it won't happen. It doesn't happen.
Yeah. And it's so true. And I think I'm not too sure if the same issues with men, but women, we tend to sacrifice ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, we're
And
down the list.
yeah,
Oh my God, I can't even tell you. I mean, the because I've had my oldest daughter did nursing, and I can't even tell you how many essays I sat writing with her till 1 o'clock in the morning, and I mean, I still made sure I did that as well. But yeah, you're right. I did put myself, last in that regard.
yeah,
I had a bit of a hiccup along the way too. I had a really bad accident, and I
mm,
spent 8 months in a wheelchair
yeah,
in 20 whatever it was, 2016 till 2017, and so that was actually an opportunity to grow my business because I was stuck, sitting for 8 months. I don't know many women that, when if someone had have said that to me, I would have said, "Oh, there's no way I could cope with that." Well, what do? You got no choice, do you?
yeah,
You're stuck. You've got to sit, and
yeah,
so I sat for 8 months because I couldn't walk.
yeah,
I had a cage bolted into my leg that I looked like Frankenstein, and I just had to. So it kind of gave me a gift of space, and it gave me
mm,
time off from other responsibilities. Usually I'd be
yes,
running around like a mad thing, and I got to sit with my business, which I know that's an unusual circumstance, but I think to allow yourself the time to just sit with your business and create, and I think holding an idea of where you want it, what you want it to be, and where you want it to go. I'm building an international food brand,
mm,
and I don't say that lightly, but that's what I'm doing, and I'm not just messing about with a little product here. I have an end goal, and I know how I want that to look, and I think that I'm a bit of a fan of the manifestation and
mm,
just holding clear in your head, really clear about where you're heading, and what you want it to look like at the end.
yeah. So when I saw you explaining to the sharks about your figures and how it has just grow from year to year,
Yes.
and this year expecting
Yes, a
turnover
big
of
one. Oh, that was the yeah. I was
$1 million.
yeah. I think there was a. Oh, some would say that's delusional. Do you know what? It's so funny. I don't even remember Janine saying that. I don't. I have no memory of that. So I guess it's all a blur. But yeah. So yeah, because you're in front of the investors for
Mm,
quite a long time, but obviously when it's edited to television, it becomes much shorter. But what I can say about that is that I believe that when I was on air, I proved that
mm,
how where those figures came from, that they were very real, and
mm,
that they were pretty much the fundamental point there is that um, my business growth at the end of last year, as opposed to the end of this year, I now will have all states distributing, not just
yeah.
one.
Mm,
So my growth prior to that was really based only on one state
mm,
distributing, and now I've got all states operational.
yeah.
So that was really where that figure came from.
Mm. What do you think contributed to your growth?
Oh gosh, just sheer determination. I've got to say, I'm pretty resilient and determined, um, and work hard at
Mm,
it, but not pointlessly hard and not stupidly. I think it's important to have balance and spend time with your family, and also spend time doing other things that you love. But just just don't give up. Just and ask for help. Ask. I've been so amazed by people's generosity with their time, and I don't know where I'd be without Google. So whenever I don't know something, I just Google it, or Google a person that might know,
yeah.
and then you contact them. You reach out by whatever means you can, whether or not
Mm,
that's by phone or by email, through LinkedIn, social media. You just track people down, ask them questions, and do you know what? 10 out of 10 times they answer, and they're so generous with their knowledge and their time, and so I think that's the key. Just soldier on, ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question, um, and that helps you give you direction, I think.
mm. Right, and I've got a couple of more questions for you.
Yes.
Very important one. What is your favorite? product? As in, out of all the Veglicious and Dahlicious
Oh
range, what's
God.
your...
See, that's tricky because, well, at the moment it's ratatouille.
Ah, okay.
Hands down, I have that. As a family, we have that, at least once a week.
Mm.
But sometimes I have it for lunch too. So heat it up. And look, I created beautiful plant based meal products, but they're also, I wanted to make sure that they were usable for blended families, like for families that have, members of them that aren't vegan necessarily, that so that it can be enjoyed by everyone, together. So you don't have to do the whole, because as a mum, it was the whole thought of doing the whole separate meal thing that did my head in. So I wanted to create something that could be shared by everyone, and for those that wanted to add a protein, that they can, and that it still tastes amazing. So at the minute, ratatouille is my favorite, but it might be different next week.
Do you think this could be like your business, a sneaky way for you to not cook so much?
Oh my god, you've no idea. Yeah, so what's for dinner? You know what? Go and just grab one out of the freezer. There's 6 products to choose from, but you know who benefits the most and who loves it the most?
Who?
My 2 daughters. So they're both at uni. Well, one's at uni,
Yeah.
one's at TAFE, and they live out of home. So struggling, no money.
Yeah.
Guess what they love? That their mum produces plant-based meal products, and they hi mum, I'm just going to the freezer getting a bag of things that so they go home with products. And in fact, my oldest daughter, she's been incredible at creating recipes using all of my products. So she makes amazing things like the mushroom ragu. She's turned into a mushroom mac and cheese. She makes beautiful pies. And she looks at, because she's struggling, got no money, and all she's got in her freezer is my products. So I guess she's a bit of a foodie, just like a mum. So she always looks for ways to use the product that's more interesting and adds value.
Oh, that's great. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
And good on you for not having to cook so much.
Yeah. Everyone's got to love not cooking, because you want healthy, and sometimes healthy's hard when you come home from work and you're tired and you can't be bothered. I mean, that was really another driving factor for the product range, was I just wanted to make choosing healthy and choosing plant-based, I just wanted to make those two things really easy, and that you don't have to sacrifice healthy for easy just because it's easy.
So tell us how we can get your products.
Um, so you can hop on to the Dahlicious Foods with an S Australia.com. Sorry about the world's longest URL. So deliciousfoodsaustralia.com, and go to the stockist page, and that has a list of all the stores in all the states where you can actually go and buy it. But there's also a link on there to a company called Mega Fresh, and if you live in New South Wales or Victoria, you can have it delivered to your door for the same price as what you buy it in the shops.
Oh, wonderful. And you're also on social media as well?
Yes, social media. On Facebook under my brand Dahlicious.
Yep.
And so you can check me out on there. And Instagram, I think I'm Dahlicious as well. You would know that. I'm not very good at all that. You're better at that.
All right. Well, thank you again. I think this has been great, and I look forward to having some Dahlicious tonight.
Thanks, and I'm loving your Beyond Latte product too, I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Nicole.